Ladies and gentlemen and programmers, let's get started with 8 out of 10 for lesson 3 in Code Academy. All right, so whenever you make a variable like this, string my name equals Mr. Miller, so you're creating a box that's name is my name, and the only thing that can go into it, the data type, is string. Now remember, this is a capital S for string because a string is a robot is a class. Write that down in your notes. So string is like having a robot in there that can not just hold text. Like, so if you have a variable like an int, it's a primitive. It just holds the number. It doesn't really do anything with the number. But a string is like a robot, and it can not only hold the text, but it can do stuff with it. And we're going to look at that in the next spot. So write this down. Write all this down in your notes, and we're going to take a look and see what that means. Hit pause and let's see what that means. All right, so the next thing I want you to do after you have written down those notes is I want you to read all this on your own. So read everything up here on your own, and then hit pause. And hit pause and read this on your own. Try to do it, and if you can't do it, let me know. Or not let me know, but if you can't do it, watch the video and I'll help you do it, okay? All right, so I'm assuming you've done it on your own already, so you can watch this or skip it forward a little bit. All right, so let's look at the instructions. So far we have 3 lines from a song. First, print out whether line 1 and line 2 are the same. So we go back to our standard. Okay, now here's the tricky part. What goes in the print line? And we're going to always put our semicolon in there. So we're gonna compare if line 1 is dot equals to line 2. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say line 1 is dot equal, and then we're going to say in parentheses, and we're going to say line 2. Okay, and that should be it. So let's run that and see what happens. Okay, oh, we got an error. And it's because I spelled line 1 wrong. Let's try it again. Okay, there we go. All right, now let's talk about those notes a little bit, okay? So let's take a look at this thing. So dot equals is a built-in method that will see if 2 things are the same, okay? A method is an action that someone has already taught our string robot to do. The dot after line 1 is the dot notation. The dot notation is when you ask an object to do something. All right, let's switch back and let's take a look at what that means. Okay, so if you look right here, we say string line 1. So we have a robot and its name is line 1. It's a string, okay? So it can do stuff with this text. So it can take this text and do stuff with it. All right, so when we say line 1 dot, that's the dot notation. It's saying, hey, robot, name line 1. I need you to do something you already know how to do. And so we're saying equals. Equals is a method somebody already taught string robots. Somebody already taught string robots to do this task. So you're saying, hey, compare yourself to the thing in the parameters. That's the thing that comes next. So it said line 1 compares itself to line 2 and sees if they're equal. That tells you it's false. Okay, so again, we have line 1 is a string robot or a string class or a string object, line 1, and we're asking it to do, with a dot notation, to do a method, something it already knows how to do, okay, which is compare line 1 to line 2. All right, let's see what the next one looks like. Now print whether line 2, okay, so for this one, we're just going to copy this whole thing. So it's pretty much the same. Okay, system, except for it's going to be is line 2 dot equals to line 3. Okay, and that should be true because they're both the same. They're the same. Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so now we're on 9 out of 10, and let's take a look at it. We're talking about string concatenation. So to concatenate is basically to add text together. So I want you to hit pause. I want you to read all this on your own, and then we're going to look at it. Okay. Okay, so you've read through it, you worked through it. Write this down in your notes. Concatenate is adding strings together, or concatenation is adding strings together. Okay, so take a look. So write that down in your notes, and then let's jump back into the project. Okay, so it's going to ask us in we have a certain number of animals of a certain species stored in species. Okay, so there's basically you have animals and zebras. So there's 12 zebras. Okay. Okay. Use plus to make a new string variable called. Okay, so we need to make a new string variable. So we're going to take capital S string, and then str. We always just copy over here because we don't. If we mess up on the spelling, it messes up. Okay, now we have to make this equal to something. Okay, so we're going to add some text. We wanted to say our zoo has 12 zebras, right? We want to say our zoo has 12 zebras. So we're going to put this in text. And so we'll just copy this. Our zoo has. Okay, now one thing that you need to do, you got to add the space after it. Okay, so now we're going to add something to this. What are we going to add to it? We're going to add the variable animals. So we're going to click right there and add animals. And then we need to add, so the problem is we need to put a space after animals and species. There needs to be a space, so we're going to put in quotation marks with a space. And then we're going to add in, now we need to add in species. Okay, and then we need to add an S and a exclamation point, and so we're going to put in a plus. We're going to put in quotation marks, and then we're going to put in the S quotation mark. And don't forget the semicolon. Okay, let's run that and see what it has. Okay, so now we're going to print it out. And we're going to print this. I always like to put my semicolon in before I get it. And we're going to put in the zoo description that we just created. And we're going to run that. Okay, so that was it. So let's take a look at the next thing here. Okay, so for the next one here, we're going to finish up and do a review. Before we do that, let's see. I think that's it for my notes. Make sure you got that, and I think that's, yeah, we already got that one. Okay, so let's jump back over here to Code Academy, and we're just going to go through this thing. It's a review, so again, hit pause and read all this, and it's asking us to do some stuff. Let's try to create a new double variable called updated balance. And store balance with subtracted. Okay, so it's going to equal the balance. So we'll copy this, and it's going to be minus the amount to withdraw. And then a semicolon. All right, let's run that, see if it likes it. Okay, it does. Number 2. Now you've decided to split your balance to 3, so we're going to divide it by 3. So we're going to make a double variable. It's called amount for each friend. And that's going to equal updated balance divided by 3. And then don't forget our semicolon. Okay, it thinks it likes that. Oh no. Oh, we got to print it. Okay. Oh wait, no. What do we got here? All right, create a Boolean. Oh, I missed this one. All right, hold on. So we're gonna do This is going to be a Boolean and purchase ticket. And that's going to be equal to, okay, so the amount for each friend is greater than or equal to, and then the purchase price is $250, so we'll put $250 and then a semicolon. Okay, and then we want to print that. That's what we want to print there. Okay, and don't forget the semicolon, and let's see if I did it. Yep, there's enough for each person. All right, how much money did you give to your friends? Okay, so we're gonna go. Okay, and how much did you give your friends used? Oh, okay, to print out. Okay, so we're gonna print out this. So we're gonna put in quotation marks. I gave each friend, we're gonna put a space, and then I'm gonna say amount for each friend. We have to do plus. And then it looks like they want a dot, dot, dot at the end. So I'm going to do a plus and then a quotation marks and then dot, dot, dot. And let's see if that works. Okay, and so that's it for this one. We've finished. Good job, and continue on with the next lesson for Code Academy.